Downsizing is the wrong word. And I think it's actually holding a lot of people back from a life they love. I hear this from people all the time, especially from homeowners who have lived in their home 20, 30, sometimes 40 years. It usually starts with a feeling they can't quite explain. Not clutter exactly, not overwhelm, just this quiet thought in the back of their mind. This home doesn't quite fit my life anymore. And that can feel really strange when it's a home you've loved for years. I remember going through a version of this myself, standing in a room filled with things I had worked hard for. Furniture, decorations, keepsakes, things connected to memories and seasons of life. And instead of comfort, it started to feel heavy. Not physically heavy, emotionally heavy. Because what I realized was this: my home was still set up for a version of life that had already changed. We hear the word downsizing and immediately think smaller house, getting rid of stuff, giving things up. But most people are actually craving something completely different. Less stress, less upkeep, less stuff to manage, more freedom, more flexibility, more time for the parts of life they actually enjoy. That's why I like the idea of right-sizing better, because this really isn't about square footage. It's about building a life that fits who you are right now. That part can be emotional, because when people start sorting through their homes, they're usually not just sorting through belongings. They're sorting through memories, roles, identities, different chapters of life. The dining room table where everyone gathered for holidays. The spare room that used to belong to one of the kids. The house that was once loud and chaotic and full every single day. And then one day, it's quiet. Nobody really prepares people for that part. A lot of people think the hardest part of downsizing is the physical work, but most of the time, it's actually the emotional decisions. What if I regret getting rid of this? I paid good money for that. What if the kids want it someday? What if I need it later? And underneath all of that is usually a bigger question. Who am I in this next chapter? That's why I always tell people, start with the life you want to create first, not the stuff. Ask yourself, what do I want my days to feel like now? Do you want more travel, less cleaning, less maintenance, more time with family, more flexibility, more peace? Because once people get honest about that part, the decisions usually become much easier. I had someone tell me once, I don't even know where to start because everything feels important. But after we talked through what she wanted this next season of life to actually look like, something shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't about getting rid of things. It was about making room for a life that fit her better now. That's a completely different mindset. This stage of life is not about shrinking your world. If anything, it can actually expand it. Less maintaining, more living, less managing stuff, more experiences, less obligation, more intention. So if you've been feeling that quiet little tug lately, like your home no longer fits your life the same way it once did, you're not alone. And it doesn't mean you have to move tomorrow, but it might mean it's time to start asking yourself some bigger questions about what you want this next chapter to look like. Because sometimes letting go of a few things creates space for a whole lot more life. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt this way about your home? Or if downsizing has been on your mind, what part feels hardest to you? Your comments shape the videos I make next, because if you're wondering about it, someone else is too. Welcome home.